called by name. You are precious in my sight. Oh yeah, you're called by name. No more wandering in the night. You are my witness that I am the Lord. You are my child, and I've called you by name. I am the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel. I've created you, and I know all your ways. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the fire you will sing my praise. You are called, you are precious in my sight. Oh yeah, you're called by name. No more wandering in the night. You are my witness that I am the Lord. You are my child, and I've called you by name. Don't look back on the former, nor consider things of old, for behold, a new thing will spring forth. I'll make a way in the wilderness, rivers in the desert, 'cause you are my witness that I am God. You are called, you are precious in my sight. Oh, you are, you're called by name. No more wandering in the night. 'Cause you are my witness that I am the Lord. You are my child, and I've called you by name. Oh, I've called you by name. You are precious in my sight. Oh, you are, you're called by name. No more wandering in the night. 'Cause you are my witness that I am the Lord. You are my child, and I've called you by name. Oh yes, I've called you by name. My child, I've called you by name. Since I've had this section called Connie's Country Gospel Corner in this wonderful Nashville Country Music Magazine, I haven't really told any of you about myself and what it is that I do. My name is Connie Hall, and I do interviews with singer-songwriters, and in those interviews, I take time to learn what it is that they do, why they write the songs that they do, and the stories behind the songs that they write. Most of the time, it's related to something that's happened in their own lives or to someone that they know. So today, being that I'm usually the interviewee, I thought perhaps it might be nice to tell you a little about myself, what it is that I do. I myself have been a singer-songwriter for many years. The song we started off the program with, Called by Name, is one I wrote 17 years ago and was inspired in my reading Isaiah chapter 43. I was so excited in reading that portion of scripture because I knew in my heart that God knew my name before I was even born. And because I knew he was aware of me and all that I may have to go through, he would see me all the way. And so here now is where I can begin my story. I've lived most of my life up in northern Wisconsin. I was raised a minister's daughter and grew up with music in the church. My dear mother, though, was my greatest influence as a child when it come to my desire to do music. My mama sang like an angel, and many times as children we would all join in with her doing harmonies and whatever that we could. There were many times when wash day would come around, we would all sing along with her to the rhythm of the old Ringer washing machine. That was one of the benefits of not having modern day appliances, huh? Well, now I need to relate the difficult time when My mama slipped into a coma due to some serious health issues. I sat beside her bed and late at night so quiet in that hospital room. My mind would go back to all the years and the beautiful old gospel songs that I'd hear her sing. I began singing some of them there, and it was like angels all around us in the room that night. I stopped briefly, and that's when Mama began gasping for her air. It was her last moments on earth. Later, I wrote this song called Thankful for My Mama's Memories. I trust it will mean something to you as you hear it. As I sit here, the music softly playing, all the old songs that I learned so long ago. I can't help but recall, 'cause my mama sang them all, and I'm so thankful for my mama's memories. I'm so thankful for my mama's memories. Many times they have brought me to my knees. Rock of Ages cleft for me, and what a friend sung tenderly. I'm so thankful for my mama's memories. Then the day came when I sat along her bedside, and I sang all the songs from long ago. The angels came and gathered round as I sang to her the songs, and I'm so thankful for my mama's memories. I'm so thankful for my mama's memories. Many times they have brought me to my knees. Rock of Ages cleft for me, and what a friend sung tenderly. I'm so thankful for my mama's memories. Then the angels took her home as I sang to her the songs. I'm so thankful for my mama's memories. My brother Paul and I formed a gospel quartet and sang all over Wisconsin and Upper Michigan. But as I grew up and left home, I became a housewife and a mother. And now we know that mamas with 4 little boys don't have a lot of extra time on their hands, so music had to take a back seat to cooking meals and washing clothes, keeping the house clean, and making sure those little guys didn't get into too much trouble. I did write some songs during that period of my life. And then in 1974, I participated in a contest for the Grand Ole Opry and came second in the state of Wisconsin. Just a fun thing to do. In 1990 and 91, 2 of my sons were in Iraq during the Desert Storm. Needless to say, it was a very troubled time for me. The concern for my sons was always on my mind. The next song tells its own story, and it also tells how I got my name, A Diamond in the Sun, S-O-N. That's what I felt like. The dream I had and the experience taught me a lot of things, but mostly who I am as a person. The tough things in life help us to become what we were meant to be. So I hope it brings you some hope in your life and when you're facing circumstances way beyond yourself, when there seems to be no hope. Here's that recording called A Diamond in the Sun. I always had to be up early to be at the radio station every morning. 2 of my sons were over in Iraq in 1990 and 91. The news was full of the bad stuff going on over there. Scuds flying right over the area. I could not sleep at night for worrying. The fear was just unreal that something might happen to my boys. One night, totally exhausted, I sat down on the edge of my bed and just simply prayed, Jesus, please help me. I laid my head on my pillow and did fall into an exhausted sleep, where I dreamed that I was running through a dark forest and something huge and scary was chasing after me. It was dark clouds overhead, and the forest was darker than usual. I didn't even have time to look to see what it was that was chasing after me, but running for what seemed like forever, I came to the edge of that forest where it abruptly stopped. I looked ahead of me out into a clearing, and I knew I had to get out of that forest. So I ran on ahead to the middle of that clearing. I took a swift glance back and realized that whatever was chasing me had decided to stay back there in that forest. I was so exhausted that I couldn't go another step. I simply fell flat on my back on the ground. Here I was, looking right up into a sky full of dark, dark clouds. All of a sudden, the clouds parted. It formed a small hole up there, and Jesus' face filled that hole. At first, he was like a faded photograph, but as I laid there marveling at what was happening, his face grew brighter and clearer, all light. It made a beam that came right down to the ground and landed right on my chest there. Now, I can tell you, I don't know what the features of his face really were, what nationality, the shape of his nose or mouth, or the color of his eyes. The only thing I do remember is the total look of love that was there. So much compassion for me. It was totally engulfing me as I watched. Like a magnet, I was drawn to the love in his heart. All of a sudden, the clouds began to let go and soft, gentle raindrops began to fall. And as they fell,
The light coming down from Jesus' face, which was beamed right on my chest, made those raindrops look just like diamonds. The diamonds, though, as they landed on my chest, didn't just fall on me and roll off to the ground. They embedded themselves right into my chest. And as they went inside of me, the fear that was so huge in my heart began to disappear. At that moment, I couldn't analyze what it was that was even happening. It was so engulfing my whole body, mind, and spirit. And that's when I woke up. I sat right up on my bed and marveled at what had just happened in my dream. Let me tell you, I was not the same mama when I woke up several hours later from one of the best night's sleep I could recall. Driving to work the next morning at 5 a.m., I looked out over the horizon where the sun was just breaking over the treetops. Such a beautiful sunrise. I wept my whole way to work with joy in knowing that God had just worked a miracle in my heart. The constant gnawing fear was gone. Now that, folks, is a miracle. And my sons did come home from that war. Not unscathed, but nonetheless home to their loving families. God is so good.
I've touched on the highlights of my life and the songs that I've written. I'm not a young lady anymore, but God has seen fit to bring a publisher along who saw and felt the need to help me know what to do with my music. Roger Wood Sr. from Push Mountain Publishing Company took time to teach me how to go about getting things taken care of, and now I have all my music copyrighted, registered, recorded, up for sale on many of the websites such as Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, etc. I also got them pulled together into videos and are up on YouTube. And then I also have a web page called Bandcamp where people can go and type in my name and find close to 100 songs. And if anybody would like to locate me and get to know me a little bit, you can find me on Facebook. Just look for Connie Hall. I feel it might be beneficial to share with you an experience that let me know that what I do with what time I have left on this earth is very important. I had 4 bypass surgery to correct 10 blockages and a full maze procedure to correct AFib. Within 3 days, my heart was in arrhythmias again. 3 months later, it went into ventricular tachycardia, and from there into torsades, and my heart stopped beating. I hit my living room floor. How is it that I'm still here? I can only say it was God's angels that brought me up and out of it. I called for help, and when I got to the hospital, I had another episode of it that came through, and people saw what it was that was happening. I ended up being taken to the heart hospital where they put in a pacemaker that now does 98% of my heart's work. They did tell me that people don't usually come out of that episode without the paddles, so I knew that he'd spared my life, and there was more to be done before I checked out of here. But the coolest part of all is this. That's that I've been granted a peace in my heart knowing that what time I do have left on earth, it can be used to comfort, strengthen, and encourage those that have the need for those things. And in speaking with Roger, as my very best friend, we shared the hope of heaven which is ahead of us when this life is over. So together, we wrote this last song here called Heaven Forever. And I trust that God will use all of the music and my story here today in your walk in life. God bless is my prayer.
As I think
of the place that's called heaven. It's with a yearning heart and a watchful eye, for I know my Lord is coming back to take me to my mansion He's prepared up in the sky. And it will be heaven forever, and we'll walk upon the streets of purest gold. And it will be heaven forever, in that land where we never shall grow old. There will be no more sickness, no more dying, and each breath I breathe is straight off heaven's shore. I will join my loved ones waiting over yonder, where we'll spend eternity forevermore. And it will be heaven forever, and we'll walk upon the streets of purest gold. Yes, it will be heaven forever, in that land where we never shall grow old. And it will be heaven forever, in that land where we never shall grow old.